Welcome to tonight's focus call. This is Milo Acosta, Director of North American Sales. Tonight, guys, we are foregoing our regular scheduled call to share some very important news with each of you. For that, we have our VP of Global Sales and Marketing, Rennert. Aaron, go ahead, brother.
Milo, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Hey, everybody, we appreciate you getting on the call tonight. It's been an interesting day, and the reason that we decided to hijack this call for tonight and try to send a message out is that we believe at Sisel that we are a very large family, and we're a group of people that are very interested in everything that we do on a daily basis, being something to better the planet and better ourselves and better the people around us. And so as a result, we had some devastating news that happened that came about this morning. Sometime in the night last night, Tom Maurer Sr. passed away. And as much as I would love to not be the one that has to bear that message, it is something that unfortunately we do have to tell you and get out there and let people know that we've got to get in front of this and really just, you know, put in memoriam our relationship and the times that we've seen Tom and the opportunities that we've had to spend time with him and to be a part of his incredible life and his mission. And so we as a company, literally just in shock this morning as I got a call from Tom Maurer Jr., and he gave me the news and broke it to me. I literally almost just fell on my knees. Tom Sr. was an amazing man, and he did some amazing things, a lot of amazing things for so many people around the world, things that have gone unspoken and things that have touched so many people. And I was mentioning earlier to somebody, and I apologize, it's been a whirlwind of activity today, but I was mentioning earlier that I've had a chance to travel on behalf of Tom. I was lucky enough to be able to go out and spend time in the world and go to places that Tom Sr. had really never allowed people outside of those markets, meaning employees that lived in those markets, to travel on his behalf and actually go out and spend time with the distributors in certain parts of the world. And I remember he said to me one day, Aaron, I think I want you to go to Eastern Europe and run some meetings and spend some time over there. And so I looked at him and I said, okay, well, what does that entail? And he said, oh, you'll love it. There's great people and wonderful and great opportunities to get to know other cultures and communities and the way that people work, and you'll just love them. He said, you'll just love the people. And he said, just like you love the people in America and Canada and in other parts of the world that I've been at that point. And I said, okay, Tom. So I got my visas all set up and I flew over and I started meeting in different parts of the world. And literally, I remember going to Kiev, Ukraine. And as I walked in, Rostislav Talsky, who was the man in charge there, came up to me at the meeting. He didn't meet me at the airport. He had his driver and his translator meet me. And they asked me, so why are you here? And I said, well, Tom Maurer Sr. asked that I come and spend some time and educate the field on products and the compensation plan and some of the other things that are happening. And he said, listen, Mr. Talsky would like to meet with you. So I went to the meeting, met him, and then proceeded to hold the meeting with about 100 people in the room and had a great meeting. And not saying it was me, but just had a great meeting. Content was good and product knowledge was there and compensation plan and all those little pieces of it. And I remember Talsky walking up to me afterwards and he said, I couldn't understand why Tom sent you because he's never sent anybody. And he said, but I really enjoyed it. And Talsky and I have had a great relationship. Mr. Talsky's been a great friend ever since. But it wasn't because of me, folks. It was because Tom Maurer had a way about him that was bigger than life. And anybody that has had a chance or an opportunity to meet him in person or even hear him on phone calls, that he has a larger-than-life capability. He wants to have fun. He wants to think about the things that will make people laugh and that make people cry, and his knowledge was unbelievable. And I've said it before, and I'll always be enamored by the fact that I could sit in his office on 5 days in a row, and I could hear him talk about the same things, and I would only grab minuscule amounts of information because his knowledge base was so big that I couldn't comprehend all the things that he would tell me. And then I'd walk out and I'd think, there's an eighth of what he told me that I can even regurgitate and tell people in the office even, let alone going out in the field and trying to remember some of these things. And I did the best I could. But he always believed in me, and he believed in you, and he wanted you to be successful. And so I want to read, and I apologize, it's been a very emotional day, but I'd like to read just very quickly a tribute that we put together so that we could get the word out. You guys will be seeing this here in the next 10 minutes. It'll start to flood your inboxes and forward it. Send it off to people that you know and that you know care about Tom Sr. We want his legacy to live on, and we want everybody to know that he's going to be sorely, sorely missed in this world. I mean, millions of people, folks, have had an opportunity to get to know Tom over the last 35 years of him traveling into some of the most remote areas as well as some of the most densely populated areas in fourth and third world countries all the way to the first worlds. And he never cared one way or the other, whether it was a little teeny country, a little teeny city, little teeny town, or the biggest places in the world. He just wanted everybody to have a successful opportunity in their life to have great health, wealth, and happiness, and that was his mantra. And so we put together this tribute. It states, a beloved mentor, amazing father, fun-loving grandfather, good friend, and network marketing legend, Tom Auer Sr., passed away suddenly Sunday evening, doing what he loved most, working to help people live a longer, healthier, and happier life. He was fond of telling his many friends, we're here to live life to the fullest, and indeed he did. He loved people, and nothing could tear him away from his passion and deep desire to help others. Over the course of his lifetime, he gave away millions of dollars to various philanthropic organizations. Through his many successful endeavors and extensive travels, he touched the lives of millions of people the world over, even holding counsel with the Dalai Lama. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong, Tom would say. The world became a lot less fun today. Without you, Tom. To honor his legacy and in respect to his family, we invite all who knew Tom to take a moment and think of their time spent with this modern-day maverick. Now, I'm just going to bottle it up for a minute, folks. I'm so happy that so many of you were able to jump on the call tonight and hear it firsthand. I know not everybody's going to be able to, and I know that there are going to be people that are just unfortunately in shock and awe, and that their chins are sitting on their chest right now or later when they hear about it. But I want you to know that Tom would love nothing more than for you to honor his legacy and continue doing exactly what you're doing right now before you heard the news, and think about how you can continue to take his message to the world. That would mean the world to Tom. And I'll tell you this right now, and we've been trying to find some humor in some of the things with Tom. And the bottom line is, Tom would 100% want you to be up and running again right now and not slowed down by the fact that he's going to be sorely missed. He's the type of person that absolutely would tell you, get your rear in gear, let's get started. You know, bottom line is, he's just one of those people that will be missed because he is somebody that had an incredibly massive impact on our lives. And I know that, and everybody on this call knows that, and everybody that will hear this later and that will see the e-blast and that will identify the announcements that are going to be happening, and again, just some of the cherished words that people will say on social media and in all different walks of life. Folks, we have an opportunity right now to continue to carry his legacy forward. Tom Maurer Jr., who's been absolutely 100% very, very involved in his father's life, building the company. You may not have seen him out in front of you as much as Tom Sr., because that's what Tom Sr. loved, but it doesn't mean that Tom Jr. hasn't been just as engaged behind the scenes, orchestrating and doing everything he can to continue this legacy on. And in Tom Jr.'s mind, nothing changes other than the fact that we're going to miss his father like crazy, because Tom Jr.'s goal is to do exactly what his dad would ask him to do, and that is to carry that torch and to continue on. And you've got Liesel and Thomas, who are just as dedicated and want to see this company succeed. You've got the management team that Tom Sr. and Tom Jr. have put together with incredible length of tenure in the industry and business, and people that are just as focused on the successes of you as you are on yourself. And we want you to know that we may even believe in some of you more than you believe in yourself, but we believe that you can take those next steps and you can do the things that you need to do to carry this torch with us. And we're goal-oriented, folks, and I tell you this, we want everybody to know that Tom is not leaving us. He's actually with us, and he wants us to be successful, and he wants us to be proud of what he developed and proud of the products that he brought to the world, because as he's always said, these are products that the world has never seen before. They've never known before. Some of these ingredients, people still don't know them. I mentioned to a couple people on a call earlier that I remember back when Tom was getting ready to travel into Pennsylvania in February of this year. And I was getting ready to go off to Europe, and so Tom was launching Stemolytic, and we'd gotten it approved through Europe, and so I was going to launch it in Europe. He was going to launch it in the U.S. on the same weekend. And I remember Tom was over the moon excited about going out to Pennsylvania to spend time at the Masters event, to have his grandson Thomas with him, to be able to talk about this product, about the formula, about the science. And quite honestly, folks, it may have been before its time. It's the smartest product that's been developed in a long time. And when you think about that compared to the Age Pill or TSX, these products are just absolutely spectacular. Well, that's what's in Tom's mind. And that was what he brought to the table. And that's what he absolutely left with us, was this incredible mind and an opportunity for us to learn and grow and understand and do our research. And he always said that. And that's why I came up with that saying a number of years ago. I always said, if you trust the science, go look at that. Don't believe me. Don't believe Tom. Don't believe anybody. Go look at the science behind the ingredients. You tell me if what the science tells you is there, then believe the science. Trust in the science. Trust in Sisel. Trust in the Mauers. And so I want each of you to know that it's our goal to just continue carrying this torch. We had a great call with our staff earlier in the three companies. Of course, you guys know we've got the parent company, which oversees all of us and has the managed services. We've got Sisel and then the manufacturing. And I had a great call with everybody talking about, us going forward. And I just, jump in and do what I've got to do to make sure that the Mauers had time with their family and making arrangements and doing the things that were necessary, as they found Tom this morning in his bathroom. And so I want you to know that it was a sad day for all of us and absolutely devastating for the Mauers. But I've talked to Tom Jr. a couple of times today, and he is obviously with deep regret that his father's not here, but with great joy that his father may be in a better place, that he is absolutely smiling down on us and trying to help us continue on with his message and his mission and his life projects, if you will, that he wanted everybody to be able to go out and learn and grow and understand and develop and help people. And that was his bottom line. And so when we talked about the philanthropic areas that he was really focused on, folks, you have no idea how many dollars he gave away. Nobody does. And that was the type of person that Tom was. He wasn't a guy that wanted the fame. He didn't want his name out in the press. You didn't see much on press. You didn't see him asking for accolades. What you saw was a man who was focused on bettering the people that he had an opportunity to better, and bettering the planet, and helping each of us try to figure out how we can better ourselves. And that was his whole goal. And I remember hearing Tom tell a story about how when he first started doing a lot of business in Russia, he had some people that were having a difficult time coming to the meetings because they would have to find people to watch their kids, and they were single moms, and they just didn't have the resources necessary. And so they had some people that were volunteering their time in a little shabby old place out in the middle of Moscow. Just horrible, really just horrible circumstances and elements for these children to be in. But the fact was that, they didn't have any other choice. So Tom asked if he could go visit. He went and visited, and then he bought them a new building, gave them new toys, new bedding, new beds, new clothes, all the things that they would need to have the resources at their hands to be able to go out and help others and give some of these single moms the opportunity to work. And he paid salaries, and he made sure that people were taken care of there, and he still was doing it. He was still sending money all over the world. So I want you to think about all of those things that you've learned through time, all of those things that you have had an opportunity to learn about Tom and to get to know Tom and to spend time with Tom, and think about the experiences if you were ever at a Mauer Mountain, which we're so devastated we weren't able to have it this year, because I'll tell you what, it's Tom's highlight of the year, and he was so mad that this pandemic hit and he didn't have a chance to really go out and do the things that he loved doing. But it was a chance that Tom had to just literally be somebody that he was deep down, which was like a little kid. And if you ever got blasted by water guns, or if you ever got driven through a river, if you ever feared for your life as you drove down the mountain, whatever it may have been, I can tell you that we've all had these wonderful experiences. And so we want you to look back at it with joy and with peace, knowing that Tom's in a great place, knowing that he absolutely loved each one of you and treated everybody like they were part of his family. And I remember, as an ending note, I remember Tom telling me one time, Aaron, we're in the people business, and the people need this business. They need something that they can latch on to. They need something that they can go out and spend their time knowing that they're helping other people. And I never will forget that, because it's really what Tom said to me in order to get me here almost 12 years ago. And I'll never forget the fact that as Tom continued to work with me, Tom and I talked about me traveling and me taking over cells, and you guys have all heard the stories. And as I sat there talking to Tom, I said, yeah, I mean, I really don't even know what you guys are talking about. I mean, I really wish that I knew what this whole business was all about. I came from such a traditional corporate background that I was kind of trying to wrap my brain around it. And Tom said, hey, it's simple. You're a people person. This is a people business. You're going to love it. You're going to do great. Just go out and start doing it. And I go, okay, well, we'll go do it. Well, from that point on, I'll tell you what, and I even spoke with my father earlier today, and I kind of cried with him. And I said to him, Dad, Tom was much more than just a boss. He was a mentor. He was a friend. He was like a father figure. He was a person that cared about me deeply, and I cared about him deeply. And so I know that each of you now are kind of scratching your heads and you're thinking, geez, what happened? How could this happen? I remember not too long ago, Tom said, hey, you know what? What if 120 was the new 80? And we all kind of looked at him with a little shock on our faces, and he saw it, and I said, hey, that's really big. What if the new 80 was, or 80 was the new 60, or 60 was the new 40? Or maybe we bring down that demographic a little bit. And he goes, nope, I'm living to 120, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to make it happen. And, we're going to have a great time, and you're going to be there with me, and Tom Jr. is going to be there with me, and we're going to, keep this company going and all that good stuff. Well, that was just Tom's mindset. He never would allow somebody to say anything negative, and he wouldn't believe anything negative. As a matter of fact, until the days leading up to today, he was still on Saturday calling me, asking me if I could run up there. I couldn't on Saturday, but he said, Aaron, I need my laptop, and I need Brent to bring up a power cord for me. And I said, okay. Brent's in charge of our IT. I said, okay, let me work on that. Well, Brent ran up there and dropped it off. And so Tom was still working, still researching, still doing the things that he loved doing up until the end. And folks, I think that is how all of us really should go, is that we do everything we can for everybody around us and ourselves all the way up until the end. And there's no greater service that we can give than when it's given to others. And I really want you guys to know that. And I want you guys to know that from the philanthropic side of the house, again, Tom didn't want us to blast it out there. He really didn't want a lot of fanfare, but he had given so much money back into the environment, into children. As you know, the whole child mission was really funded by Tom, and it was about these abandoned children in these third and fourth world countries that were just left and literally left in cages for 23 and a half hours a day, other than the few minutes a day that they were fed. And that was force feeding at best, and Tom could not handle it. He absolutely dreaded the thought of some child being in a cage and being in a situation where they weren't taken care of. And I want you to know that's the legacy that we have an opportunity to carry on. That's the torch that we have to continue to shine bright throughout the world. And each of you, as you carry that torch, know that you're honoring Tom Maurer Sr.'s legacy and mission to go around the world and educate, inform, and empower millions of people, just like Tom has done for 35 years. So I want you to know he's going to be sorely missed. We all know that. I'm excited about Tom Jr. and having the opportunity to really take front and center. I'm excited to support him and his family, and we're excited about it. And then, of course, we've got all the management in-house and intact. We're not going anywhere, folks. We're excited about the future, and it is sad that we have to announce his passing tonight, but I wanted each of you to hear it from us first before we started sending out any of the communication that we've created and built for tonight. And then we'll continue to send out communication throughout the week as we continue to have more time to spend with the family and really get some of the remarks and all that good stuff. As a closing comment, I had the sad opportunity to call our Japan staff earlier today. Scott Murdoch, who's been with Tom and the Maurers for now 23 or 24 years, just put him on his knees. And Kuniko, if you've met Scott and Kuniko, then you know who I'm talking about. These are two of the best individuals that are out there. And Kuniko's comment was, Tom Sr. is a hero to me. And I want each of you to know that he's a hero to me too. And I want to do right by my hero. So each of us has an opportunity. Pull up our bootstraps, as Tom would say. Get your rear in gear, and let's get back after it. But folks, thank you for all of your trust. Thank you for your passion. And thank you for doing the things that you do on a daily basis. I'm not going to belabor the call, but I want you to know how much we appreciate each of you and how much we appreciate the support that you've given us and given us the opportunity to do everything we can to help you, and you guys do everything you can to help us. And let's be unified, and let's go out together, and let's break down those walls of division, and let's try to bring the people back together, and let's do all we can to support each other as we continue to carry this mission forward. So everybody, again, sorry to make this announcement to you. I'm pleased to have you on the call, and I thank you, each of you, for giving us the opportunity to be a part of your life, and we'll look forward to continuing to be a part of your life for years and years and years to come. With that being said, I'll wish everybody a happy day, a happy night, a happy week, and then this next Monday we'll get back together with you with our regularly scheduled planned call that we had planned for tonight. But obviously this is far more important than that call. So thanks, everybody. Goodbye.